Hello everyone, welcome to the Policy Wall of ORF Middle East. I'm Eszter Karacsony, Associate Fellow in Geopolitics at ORF Middle East, and I'm delighted to be joined by Professor Nathalie Martial-Braz, Chancellor of Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi. Chancellor, welcome to the podcast.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Professor Braz, you're an established scholar in private law and digital regulation. You have an extensive record of publications and substantial leadership experience in academia, if I may say so, both in France and in the United Arab Emirates.
Absolutely.
Stemming from this experience, in the framework of today's discussion, we would be very much interested in exploring with you the evolution of educational and research collaborations, partnerships between France and the United Arab Emirates.
Nice to meet you, Eszter, and I'm very happy to be here and to talk about this wonderful project of Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi.
So, Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi, actually, it's been roughly 20 years since it began operating as an education, research and innovation hub. And here I quote the university's own words, at the crossroads of Europe and the Middle East. So I was wondering, to what extent is this bi-regional character embedded in the academic curriculum, the research projects, innovation projects that you have, and how are these shaped, if in any ways, by geopolitical and geoeconomic dynamics changes impacting both geographies?
I think the project of Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi, born in exactly 20 years ago in 2006, was probably at that time a very visionary project built on the geopolitical relationship between UAE and France at that time. It was born on the idea that knowledge can shape geopolitical relationship. At that time, it was mainly a transfer of knowledge from a very old university with a very heavy legacy from humanities to a country who was at that time shaping the future of the country. So the main idea was to import, I would say, educational center to raise and educate a population to the most probably important heritage of humanities. But since that time, the project has, of course, made a lot of evolution that follow the evolution of the world. And 20 years after, I think we can say that Sorbonne University embed properly the strategical relationship between France and UAE and has made the same evolution. So now we are not anymore a sort of a center of uniquely knowledge and transfer of knowledge, but we are properly, as you said, a hub of education, but not only, but research as well and innovation. And we are very proud to symbolize this partnership between these two countries. Of course, this bi-regional partnership is embedded in our curriculum. We import here the same degrees as in Paris, with the same program and the same request of excellence in our program. But at the same time, we were, I think, agile enough to adapt to the context, to the regional context to make sure that our students are still fit for the market here in the Middle East. So that was really important to adapt our curriculum. And I think the most important step to embody this partnership was made in research, to adapt, in fact, the priority of our research hub to the priority of the countries. So 2 years ago, we oriented differently our research in Sorbonne to be sure that we can tackle the objective of the country. We put a maximum of effort in artificial intelligence. We created in 2019 the first center of artificial intelligence in Abu Dhabi, Of course, embedded AI followed us very, very closely. But at that time, it was really important because we embed a very important center here, being able to work both in UAE and in France on different research projects. For example, there is a very important research project led in France on pancreatic cancer. And it's done here with the infrastructure here. So that's the sort of partnership the research embed. And during the COP28, we also created the Ocean Lab, the Ocean Institute, which is the brother of the one in Paris. And it's really important for us to be sure that we can adapt our research project because we are a small university here, but the biggest in France. So to be sure that we can bring here our better talents focused on the main subject which are interested the country. So with all those initiatives, we try to be very adapted with the objective of the countries.
Thank you so much. You already covered actually partially one of my follow-up questions, which was indeed about the fact that now we live in an era when technological disruptions, transformations are fundamentally reshaping not just production models, but also, of course, skills required of the workforce and also research priorities. And I was wondering how Sorbonne Abu Dhabi indeed adapted and managed to adapt to these changes when it comes to the curriculum and also maybe the pedagogical approach of the professors. And of course, the main focus of its research project. And what skills and knowledge areas are, according to you, in the highest demand? Because you also mentioned that you want to train and form young professionals who fit the local market as well.
Yeah, that's, I think for university, we are living a very complicated period because at the same time, it's very exciting to be at this moment where innovation is so important and probably we are living a proper revolution as it was made probably at that time with steam revolution or the electricity. I think AI transformed not only our daily activities but also our society. So I think as a university, it's very exciting to be at that moment to be sure that we can train the student to this new technology, be at the edge of the new probably innovation to make some progress on this particular technology. But at the same time, it's creating a lot of challenges and risk for not only the student, not only the professor, but also for the society. So it's really important to be sure that we can embed this technology in our curriculum. That's what we are doing. And it's not only challenging for our student, but also for our professor, because it changed the way we are teaching, the way we are assessing the students, the way we are asking them to think. So it's many challenges, not only for the student, but also for the professors and probably mainly for the professors because they are not AI native generation. But it's really challenging. But at the same time, I think for us as Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi is particularly exciting because we are a transdisciplinary university. So we tackle all the subjects around this innovation, this particular technology. We are able to bring the student to embed the skills, for example, in regulation of this technology, in the application of this technology. We have researchers who are working, for example, in marine science with AI technology by embedding, for example, AI system in robotics to monitor the ocean. So we have this capacity, probably more importantly than other university who are more expert university or specialized university to give an holistic vision of this new technology, not only in our curriculum, but also in our research. So I would say that our main challenge today as a higher education institution is to be sure that we can adapt and to create a micro-credential to be sure that our students will be able to tackle those challenges, who probably will require for our students not only one field of expertise, but many fields of expertise. So it's not easy because, of course, our curriculum were built in a tradition where the curriculum are probably more monolithic than in the English system. But because we are small and more agile than in our mother university in Paris, we are able, in fact, to bring more innovation in our country. So it's important as well to see that how Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi has changed the relationship between the two countries. And I come back to the first question as well. Because at the beginning it was really in one way only, and now it's in both way. We are creating some programs here that we are able to transfer after in Paris, because here the evolution is more quick. It's more easy to making change and to adapt for the needs of the country, and because this country also by the change they want for their economy to create a knowledge-based economy, and because they have the way to do it. In fact, the country is more able to receive this sort of adaptation in the curriculum and in the research project. So today, I think it's important to raise students and to train them to many skills. Of course, we need some experts, some engineers to continue to develop, for example, the AI system. But we need engineers who are able, for example, to integrate the need of regulation, the need of rules around AI, and who are able also to understand the danger, the risks, the challenges of this technology, and the application of the technology. For example, in my field, in law, is it really important as a lawyer to understand the technology as well? Because if I try to regulate this subject and I don't understand him, it's not possible for me to be fitted for the technology to write a proper regulation adapted. And we heard really often we heard the fact that the regulation is an obstacle for the development of the technology, that probably in Europe we are too focused on regulation and not enoughly on progress and innovation. I think both has to be embedded together to be sure that we can innovate, but with the spirit of moderation, I would say. And I think it's quite important today, because what we will do now will have some impact in the future for the future generation. We saw now many studies saying that AI reduced the capacity of the kids and of the youth to think, that they are not able to write properly because they transfer everything to ChatGPT. So we need to train and probably embed more those subjects and those issues in our curriculum and research. And for that, I think the main skill that we have to give for our students, I am very proud to be at the head of Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi, probably for this unique reason, is we have to train them to critical thinking. If they are not able to take some distance with everything, not only with technology, not only with innovation, but also with all the geopolitical questions that we are facing today, we need to have the capacity to step back and to think. And I'm sure that the main skill is this one.
Thank you so much. Indeed, we can see that we live in a very complex time. And as you mentioned, the skill set in itself also needs to represent and echo that to some extent. You also mentioned these dynamics between Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi and Sorbonne University, of course, based in France, in Paris. I was also wondering, when we try to assess the effects, the potential impacts of the university's activities in education, research and innovation, Can any specific links be identified between these effects and the competitiveness of both France and the UAE?
Yeah, I think that is really important. And probably that is the main change in the way we are approaching today the universities in the world, not only Sorbonne University. By the time university were only places where students were trained, where a researcher was making their studies, but there were not many linked with the economical field and market. So I think in that aspect, it's really important. We in Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi, we have many partnerships with different entities and different private company here in the field in the country, but we have also this capacity to receive, in fact, this partnership from French companies who are based in the UAE. I think we can bring this research and development aspect for those companies who don't have probably the capacity to bring all that they have in the country, and to develop those capacity here. So we have many fields where, in fact, we are at the crossroads between UAE and France in terms of partnership and competitivity, economic competitivity. So we have, for example, partnership with Total. We have partnership with Thales. We are developing partnership with Veolia, which is another French company. And of course, I'm not focusing only on French company when we are developing a partnership, but just to illustrate the fact that we can be this trade union between the two countries, and being this tool used by both countries to create, in fact, more activity, more economic activity between the two countries. I just want to highlight the fact that we are properly UAE and French institution. Our mother university in France, how to say it? We are a branch campus of those universities, but we are different in our composition. We are led by a board who embed both the UAE government and the French university and government. So in the strategy we are following, we are representing both countries. So when we are making choice in terms of strategy, we try to bring this aspect and of course this target to develop in both countries. So is it really interesting, because by the time it was only France, the French company or the French project which were coming here. Today, it's not anymore the case. We saw last year during the AI summit in Paris that the UAE invest also in France. So the partnership could be illustrated as well in France by the investment made by the UAE government in the infrastructure in France for developing data centers. And it's really important because for us, it's not only in a one way, and we are very keen to see project develop cross borders, I would say, around this partnership. So for us, it's really important, and I think the impact that we are able to create in the country is now also one of our priorities. So all the projects that at the research level that we are developing here have an impact here in the country, and not only in France and not only in Paris at Sorbonne. That is really important. For example, we led last year a research project on waste management, and the objective was to bring solution to build public policy here in Abu Dhabi, and it was of course something which had a huge impact. We have also because as I said previously, we are a transdisciplinary university, and we are not working only on AI. Even it's the year of AI in our university. We had a study, and it just finished on the impact of transport and school transport in the city of Abu Dhabi. We are today in Dubai, and the traffic is just a big change in the way Dubai is living. And Abu Dhabi probably is a bit different because we are not living at the same stage of development, but we see that coming. And I think it's the good moment to probably take a step back and think on how we can regulate the transport, how we can making some progress on that, and having studies who are able to give a proper follow-up on this subject is the way that the government can change their public policy and bring more awareness for the population and everything. So I think they are very smart in the way they are using, in fact, the knowledge in this country. And probably we have to take some lesson in Europe.
Indeed, and as you mentioned, it really goes both ways. Building on what you said, and maybe zooming out a little bit, I also wanted to ask you, how do Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi's activities fit within the broader general framework and long-term objectives of Franco-Emirati relations? Not just in AI, potentially, but maybe...
No, but that's true that, of course, AI is properly at the heart right now of the partnership between France and UAE. But the relationship between France and UAE is not only focused on innovation, even actually it's a very important topic, but it's also based on culture. We have many programs based on the development of art, the training of museum studies, and of course in Abu Dhabi the tourism is really important, and it's a field that the city and the country wants to develop. So for us it's important to be at all the different level to be able to bring talents for the development of the partnership. The French ambassadors say always that the partnership between France and UAE is like I don't know the term in English, an éventail. I don't know how to translate it, but in
large scale.
Yeah, it's a very large scale, but the picture is nice because it's going from the army force to the Louvre, and in fact the knowledge is part of this beautiful éventail with of course many companies here in the field, and I was yesterday with the French International Chamber of Commerce, and there are so many projects here in UAE. The French population increased so much in just 3 years. There are 9 French schools in UAE. Only in Abu Dhabi there are 2 French schools. So in fact, being here as a French university, it's not only being here for the future, but it's also being here for the present. And of course, we are tools of knowledge diplomacy, and of course a tool of soft power. We are bringing here the language. We are training students in French in some of our programs, not only in French, we have program in English as well. But is it important at the political level to be here as well as a French entity? And I think in the complex world that we are facing today, and particularly today, I think Europe has a role to play, and particularly France as we were one of the first members of Europe, but today it's very important to reaffirm, I think, the role and the function of Europe as a tool piece, and being here as well is a way to I would say oppose, but I would prefer a more pacifist term, but to at least offer an alternative to the very divided world, to bring knowledge, critical thinking, comprehensiveness of the world, and to be able to showcase the fact that we can live all together. I'm sorry, I'm speaking too much, but I just want to highlight the fact that at Sorbonne University we have 81 nationalities. And yesterday night we released a very nice video of our students, and I was so pleased to see a Brazilian guy speaking with a Mexican one, and a Philippine girl, and a Chinese girl. And of course, we have a lot of UAE citizens. We have more than 65% of our students who are UAE citizens. And there were Palestinian girls as well. And they are all living together. And we have Ukrainian and Russian people who are living together. And this is really important, because if those kids today are living together, probably they will keep some friendship, because the moment of the university is the moment you are building your grown-up life, I would say. So the friendship you build at the university, you keep it for all your life. And having this comprehension of the world by your friendship, by probably your relationship as well, it's a way to, I hope, break the frontier and break the border between people. So for all these reasons, I think France has a key role to play here. And I think that's also the willingness of the UAE to be this peacemaker around the country. So we also are the picture of this peacemaker strategic partnership.
You naturally covered the last question I wanted to close with, actually, which was, how can the presence of an education and research institution present in another region contribute not only or slowly to the enhancement of relations between the countries directly involved, but also to the enhancement of bi-regional, multi-regional interconnections. And actually, you just beautifully explained how it works also, at the faculty level, and how it works also both in the private and the public sphere, where these students coming from different regions, geographies, learn, study, live together, experience life together. So Professor Braz, I think all that is left for me to do is to thank you so much for being with us today, to provide us with some very valuable insights in terms of how the educational and research relations, collaborations, partnerships evolved not only between France and the UAE. Of course, Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi is a specific example of that, but more broadly between Europe and the Middle East.
Thank you very much. It was very nice to speak with you today, and with all the people who will listen to this podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.